For a limited time, score Dell's classic snack tacos with seasoned beef and fresh house grated cheddar for just 59 cents each. Only at Del Taco. Price and participation may vary.
Monument Valley? Check. Grand Canyon? Check. Sedona? Check. Camelback? Check. Think you've seen it all in Arizona? Well, if you haven't been fishing, you haven't seen a thing. From ponds and reservoirs to rivers and lakes, our state has no shortage of ways to cast a line for beginners and pros. And a fishing license is your passport to all of them. Get your license at azgfd.gov and discover a whole new way to see Arizona.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
That's right, the Wednesday edition of the lunch break. It's KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert, producer Evan on the other side of the glass for you here today on the program. Got a lot to do. The Sun season over, just baseball going on, but still a lot to unpack, as I think we are mostly still in after action mode for the Sun season being over, kind of still recapping what happened before we get to the will be in the summer. So we're still doing that a little bit today here on the show. We've got a major breaking news in college football that may or may not have an impact on the Arizona Cardinals. It may or may not have an impact on the 2027 NFL draft. And don't worry, everybody, the NBA, they have solved it. Tanking is fully taken care of. I'll do my best to explain to you how this is going to work moving forward and hopefully not confuse everybody in the process. So that's what we have to look forward to here today on the program. Usually we look forward to the daily special here on the show. Not sure we look forward to today's daily special because I'll be honest, I'm concerned about Merrill Kelly.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
It is now 2 starts in a row where Merrill Kelly has not looked like Merrill Kelly. The Diamondbacks dropped the opener of the 3-game series with Milwaukee last night, a lopsided 13-2. Got a bunch of the runs off of Andrew Hoffman. But I think the storyline coming out of last night's game is the struggles in back-to-back starts for Merrill Kelly. 66% of Merrill Kelly's starts so far this season. 2 of his 3 have not been up to par. And you could see it. You could see it right away. I mean, there are so many data points that you can point to as to why Merrill Kelly struggled last night for the Diamondbacks. I mean, I got plenty.
I'm a huge nerd.
If you want data points, I've got them for you. How about we start with just his inability to throw strikes? 5 walks. Only 24% of his pitches last night were either called strikes or whiffs. So swing and miss or called strikes. Everything else was either a ball or put in play in some way. And you walk 5 guys, you don't stand a chance. You walk 5 guys, you give free base runners to this Milwaukee team. This is what they do. They're small ball. They're station to station. They're keep the line moving, pass the baton. Whatever phrase you want to use. And if you're going to gift them free base runners, 5 of them, you're not going to win a baseball game against this team. The velocity for Merrill Kelly was down last night. Now, Merrill's he's not a flamethrower. He's not up there throwing it 97 plus. He's not throwing it 95 plus. He is a command and control pitcher, But when the velocity on all of his stuff is down just a tick, when the spin rate on all of his pitches is down just a tick, I told you, I've got the data.
I'm a huge nerd.
When all of that stuff is down, that is a worrying sign. That isn't just a feel thing. That isn't just it feels off. That's the data telling you that what your eyes are seeing is a pitcher that right now doesn't have it. He can't find it. I don't know if it's mechanical, if it's his arm angle, his release point, whether it's him just not having a good feel, his release point on some of his pitches. And his fastball last night got crushed. He gave up, 6 hits in the game? 2 of them were on the fastball. He had 4 hard hits. Now, some of these were outs, but 4 hard hit events last night on his fastball. Some loud outs. There was a fly out early in this game that I think was 105 off the bat. Has an expected batting average of 650. I mean, the ball was smoked. Merrill Kelly didn't have it last night. And he hasn't had it for 2 straight starts. And you have all of the telltale signs. The walks, the inability to throw strikes, his fastball's getting crushed, his spin rate's down, the velocity is down. When you don't have the control and the command as a control and command pitcher, when you don't have what little velocity you do have, and when your fastball is getting crushed, it is hard to get outs. It is hard to do what Merrill Kelly has done for so long in his big league career. And that is give the Diamondbacks a chance to win. How many times have we said it? Merrill Kelly is the guy that takes the ball every 5 days, and it may not look pretty. It may not be the most dominating stuff in the sport, but Merrill Kelly, more often than not, gives you a chance to win. And right now, through 3 starts, Merrill Kelly is not giving the Diamondbacks a chance to win. Now, I hear you. I hear you getting ready to dial the phone number, 480-864-1060. I hear you typing away on the keyboard. Chris, didn't you just say yesterday that he didn't have a full spring? Didn't you just say yesterday it was 1 bad start against Chicago? Didn't you just say give it a little bit of time? I did say all those things. I did say all those things yesterday. But it is now no longer just 1 start. If there's one thing that sports has proven to all of us, if there's one thing that the sport of baseball in particular has proven to us time and time again, anybody can do anything in the sport once. Anybody can have a 3 home run game. Anybody can do it. Look at the list of guys in the history of the sport that have had 3 home run games. A lot of those guys don't go on to have great careers. Look at the list of pitchers that have thrown perfect games. Not all of those guys end up having Hall of Fame level careers. In fact, there's a lot of guys on that list that you probably don't even know who they are. Anything can happen once, good or bad in sports. Anybody can have a great game. Anybody can throw a perfect game. Anybody can have a stinker. Anybody can have a clunker. But when it happens 2 times in a row, when it happens 3 times in a row, when it happens more than once, now a pattern is developing. Now it isn't just a fluke. Now it isn't just a one-off, good or bad. If somebody threw back-to-back perfect games, you would say this is the greatest pitcher on earth. And you would have a very decent stat to point to of over his last 18 innings, he hasn't allowed a base runner, hasn't allowed a hit, 54 up, 54 down, right? That's not just 1 good day. That's 2 good days. That's 2 great days. For Merrill Kelly so far, it has been 2 bad days in a row. It has been 2 starts to forget for Merrill Kelly. And if you want the moment where you knew the game was lost for the Diamondbacks last night, they rally there in the 5th. They score, 2 runs to make it 3-2. James McCann brought home 2 runs. In the bottom part of the inning, Milwaukee immediately responded with 2 more and bumped the lead back up to 5-2. Erased the work that you had done to make it a one-run game. That's when it was over. You didn't have that shutdown inning, get your bats back up there, give yourself a chance to tie the game, if not take the lead. You immediately coughed up the 2 runs that you just worked so hard for in that 5th inning. And then Andrew Hoffman comes in, and it just caves in from there, and it is a laugher in the wrong way last night for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and in particular, Merrill Kelly.
It is not one of those games where you walk away saying Merrill Kelly got unlucky. No, he got rocked. And I think you said it best. There are concerns for me about the velocity being down, but more than any of that, the spin rate being down is concerned.
Can't throw strikes, velocity down, fastball's getting crushed. So when he is putting it in the zone, it's getting crushed. Even the outs were loud. I mean, it is just, they need more. And I can tell you why they need more, because there's like 8 or 9 relievers. There's a great story on SI today from Jack Summers, who covers the Diamondbacks for Sports Illustrated. There are 7 pitchers in the Diamondbacks bullpen that are on pace right now to set career highs in innings pitched and games pitched. Are you sitting down? These numbers are going to floor you. Ryan Thompson right now is on pace to pitch in 93 games this season. Taylor Clark, Juan Murillo, and Jonathan Loaizaga, the 3 of those guys are on pace to pitch in 81 games. Half of the games this season, they're on pace to pitch in. Kevin Ginkel, 69. Paul Sewald, 69. Andrew Hoffman, 46. Ryan Thompson is on pace to pitch in as many games as the most games he's ever pitched in his career, and the same amount of innings that he's pitched in his career. Juan Murillo is on pace to pitch in 81 games and throw 79 innings. His previous career high, 63 games and 55 innings, and that's a combined season of minor leagues and major leagues. This is a bullpen that is overworked right now. It is a bullpen that has been used so much because the Diamondbacks have played 10 one-run games this season, the most in all of baseball, because they are not getting what they need to get from their starting pitching. It was Merrill Kelly last night. It was Brandon Pfaadt when he was in the rotation. Too often, Torrey has had to play catch-up, and he has overworked these guys. Something has to give. If the Diamondbacks are going to continue to have the success that they have had this season, if they are going to exceed all of these expectations and be in the wild card come August and come September, I don't think it is unfair to say you need more from Merrill Kelly. The Diamondbacks have to fix Merrill Kelly, because I don't think what we are watching over these last 2 starts is somebody who's just having bad luck and it is in his 2 bad starts in a row. There are telltale signs in the data.
I'm a huge nerd.
That tells you something more is going on here. Now, I don't know exactly what it is, but the data is pointing to something isn't right. And if the Diamondbacks are going to save their bullpen, if the Diamondbacks are going to continue to win at a pace that is required to stay in this playoff race, Merrill Kelly has to be right. Merrill Kelly has to be at the front of this rotation, doing what we said at the top of this segment, giving the Diamondbacks a chance to win, giving them a fighting chance every single time he takes the mound.
We said it kind of earlier. It feels like the Diamondbacks have won some of these games on like smoke and mirrors, right? And I think this stat for me jumped off the page of this is not sustainable. This team can't win like this over the course of 162. It's just too hard to do. You cannot have a bullpen arm throw in more than 60% of the games you're going to play this year, because that's what he's on pace to do right now. You have 4 guys that are on pace to throw in more or half or more games that you're going to play all year.
I mean, I'll tell you the one that stands out to me is Jonathan Loaizaga, a guy coming off of multiple years that he's lost due to injury and is on pace to pitch in 81 games when his career high is 57 and to throw 79 innings when his career high is 71.
It's not like he's a guy like Juan Murillo who hasn't had, massive MLB experience. Jonathan Loáisiga's been around the league and pitched a lot in big games. And he's going to throw his career high in innings coming off 2 massive injuries. We're talking about a guy who lost seasons.
It's just not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. And if the Diamondbacks are going to keep this up, right, if they're going to stay right there in that mix, if they are going to get to the trade deadline and be buyers, right, if they're going to, we've referred to the first part of the season as the 60-game sprint. If they are going to succeed in this 60-game sprint, something has to change with the bullpen usage. And that ties back to you got to get more from your starters. Merrill Kelly needs to be more than what he's been so far through his first 3 starts of the season. So my concern level has grown now that it is 2 starts. It's not just 1, it's 2, it's back-to-back. The data tells a bad story, and you can just see it. You can see how this can very quickly slide off the rails for the Diamondbacks, where they are going to have a bullpen that's going to start to get taxed, and then you're going to have outings where Andrew Hoffman just doesn't have it because he's been used extensively. Jonathan Loáisiga going to make a lot of appearances on Meltdown Mountain if he keeps using these guys as much as he is. Something has to change. And again, last night is just one example of overall what has happened to this team. But Merrill Kelly is so important. I mean, he may be the most important pitcher the Diamondbacks have in their rotation. They need him to be right to help clean up some of these other issues.
Because in recent years, Merrill hasn't had those starts back-to-back. Maybe one here or there, but never back-to-back. He's always given them the innings they need or the start they need. Not saying he's as dominant as some of the other guys across the league, but he has been a steady hand in this rotation. And if that's not there, I don't really know what they can do.
Yeah, it was a rough one last night for the Arizona Diamondbacks as they fell in the opener to Milwaukee 13-2. Speaking of the Diamondbacks, you can listen right here on the KDUS AM 1060 app and streaming on KDUS1060.com for your chance to win 4 tickets next Saturday when the Diamondbacks take on the New York Mets. It's Star Wars night. You can join the Diamondbacks as they take on the Mets Saturday, May 9th. The first 25,000 fans to the game will receive a Gabby Moreno Mandalorian bobble courtesy of Cox. We've got your chance to win 4 tickets for the Diamondbacks against the Mets next Saturday for listening on the KDUS AM 1060 app. It was probably the most important question before the season. Did Jordan Ott already answer it? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Was Kevin Durant out because it is a 7-game series and we could afford to lose a game? Maybe. I was surprised to see him on the bench. Everyone was surprised. The odds makers were surprised. Who knew that the Houston Rockets without Durant can't find someone to make a bucket? You know, Sengun's a very good player, and in years past, he might have been the guy to try and carry the load, but it didn't look good at all for the Rockets without KD.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority bookings by calling our heroes over at Zero Res. Hey, it's Audrey. I have personal experience with Zero Res. They came in and completely made my home smell way more fresh than it did. And it's not because I smell funky. It's because, I've got pets, and I had family over during the holidays, so we'll blame it on them. And they came and completely helped change my winter blues into springtime cleans. Zero Res removes all of that winter buildup and lingering odors, giving your home a fresh, spring-ready feel, preparing your home for the brighter days ahead. And don't forget about your air ducts, because they are the lungs of your home. And if they're dirty, your indoor air quality is going to suffer. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified from Phoenix's #1 carpet cleaner, starting at just $129. And whenever you mention KDUS, receive a free hallway cleaning and take $75 off your air duct cleanings. Call Zero Res right now at 480-507-2419 or go online at ZeroResPhoenix.com and say you want the KDUS special.
Foreigner, celebrating 50 years.
You're as cold as ice.
5 decades of hit songs. Come alive on one stage. Foreigner. Sunday, October 18th, Talking Stick Resort. Tickets on sale now at TalkingStickResort.com. All the hits on one stage. Foreigner, celebrating 50 years, live.
Fridays at 5, I'm out exploring. From hiking up Camelback to skiing at Snowbowl, the adventures never stop with AAA. It's membership that travels with me, whether behind the wheel or a passenger, in my ride, my buddies, or a rental. AAA's got 24/7 expert help with tows, battery help, and more. Plus, branch services like free passport photos and trip planning. Membership gives you all this and more for less than $6 a month, and I can add loved ones for half off. Call or visit your local branch today. AAA, your membership to go.
He was back at work Monday after missing day 3 of the NFL draft to be with his family. A weekend of, quote, counseling to work through an affair that allegedly had been going on for years. Light work, Coach? And because folks have nothing better to do, internet sleuths have uncovered another nugget, a Spotify playlist Diana Rossini sent to Vrabel during a 4-game losing streak in 2022. A playlist entitled Turnin' the Page and full of crappy songs that Vrabel may have even broken out during a Titans practice. Are these two respected professionals or a couple of middle schoolers making each other mixtapes? Note to self, Diana, set all playlists to private because deleting them after the fact does no good. Now, hopefully this playlist is the end of this extremely sordid tale. Sure it's not. I'm Jim Rome. And remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome. Jim Rome here. True story. I married the best person I've ever met, Janet. And not only that, but the best mother I know. So would it not stand to reason that I would get her the very best gift for Mother's Day? Aura Frames. What an absolutely amazing product. I love it so much. And more importantly, she does. Save on gifts that moms love at auraframes.com. For a limited time, get $25 off the Carver mat frame. That's the one we have. You have to use the code ROME, R-O-M-E. Support this show by mentioning the Jim Rome Show at checkout. Terms and conditions do apply. auraframes.com.
The U.S. Treasury just released its official financial report for 2025. Buried in it is a startling admission. By its own numbers, it appears the U.S. government is insolvent. When governments go this deep in debt, they print money, raise taxes, or cut benefits, none of which can help protect you. That's why people move part of their savings into physical gold and silver. Call Monetary Gold, 877-NOW-GOLD for their complimentary gold and silver guide. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Call Monetary Gold now at 877-NOW-GOLD. Do it before the next headline, not after. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional.
ASU Weekend Baseball happening over on KAZG 1440. Join the Sun Devils on the diamond this Friday as they travel to Florida to take on UCF. Head coach Willie Bloomquist is ready to start off May baseball with a road win. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, on the call live. It's game 1 between ASU and the University of Central Florida. Pregame at 2:45 p.m. and first pitch at 3 over on KAZG 1440.
There was some trepidation, I think, when the Phoenix Suns hired Jordan Ott to be their head coach a year ago. The Michigan State connections certainly threw everybody for a loop. There were some other candidates on the list with a little more experience that people thought would be towards the top of the list. And so part of this past season for the Phoenix Suns was an evaluation of, did they get this right? Did their process lead to the right guy getting the job? Was Jordan Ott the right hire for this team? Did the Suns find that next great head coach in the NBA, right? That's one of the questions that we had among many questions that we had about the Phoenix Suns going into this season. There's a ways to go. He just completed year 1. But I think Jordan Ott showed the signs of being a great coach. I think the rightful place to start is the 45 wins that the Phoenix Suns had this season. I don't think I need to remind you that the wise guys in Vegas, the wise guys at the sports book that you can get on your app, on your phone, said they'd be lucky if they won 29 or 30 games this season. Jordan Ott won 45. Jordan Ott won 15 more games than the wise guys in Vegas thought they would. He comfortably exceeded expectations. The 45 wins more wins than they had last year with a roster that is, no offense to this group, I love this group. I love what they did for me as a basketball fan. But we can all agree this group on paper not as talented as the group last year. They won more games. That is a credit to Jordan. Another way that you can look at it. Don't you feel like you know exactly what the Suns are about now? Don't you know exactly what to expect when a Jordan Ott coached basketball team takes the court? Do you feel like Jordan Ott got the culture right with the Phoenix Suns? That he got the buy-in from the players? Vets like Devin Booker, who has seen coaches come and go. Dylan Brooks, who's on what, stop 5 or 6 in his NBA career? Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, veterans that immediately bought in. How do I know this? Look at how the Suns started. This isn't a team that peaked late. This is a team that found themselves earlier than we all expected. Certainly earlier than I expected them to find success. I thought they would win more games than they did a year ago. But I thought it would take some time. They would peak late, and it would be a fantastic finish to the season. I didn't think they would find success early. That's what a good culture does. That's what the buy-in from the vets gives you. You're able to start quicker than people thought. And then just remember all of the injuries that they had throughout the year. Jalen Green in the lineup, out of the lineup, back in the lineup. Oh, wait, back out of the lineup. Dylan Brooks missing how much time towards the tail end of the season. Mark Williams missing time towards the end of the season. They were without Devin Booker for a couple of weeks there. And Jordan Ott mostly kept things on the rails. He got more from less. And that is a trademark that you have to have if you're a great coach. You've got to constantly be able to get more from less, especially, I think, in this situation. Now, was it perfect for Jordan Ott? Absolutely not. He'll be the first person to tell you that there is growth that he has to have from year 1 to year 2. The way the season ended was a problem. The commitment to these small ball lineups was a little bit of a problem. The way they performed against Portland and against Oklahoma City in the postseason was a problem. But I remind you, this was year 1 of a retool/rebuild. A young head coach with a retooled, rebuilt roster that has a bunch of moving parts, that has guys in and out of the lineup. You kind of expect them to hit the wall. You kind of expect Jordan Ott to hit those coaching bumps throughout his first year. You expect it to be a little bumpy, a little turbulent. And I think in general, it was a lot less bumpy than we thought it was going to be. But it did get bumpy when the stakes got higher. And so there needs to be learning. But Jordan Ott, to me, still remains the key to the Suns turning this around. Because we shared with you yesterday some of the financials and where the Suns are at in terms of the luxury tax and the first apron and the second apron. They are not in the most picture-perfect financial situation. It's going to require some creativity from Brian Gregory and company. That means Jordan Ott is going to have to continue, at least in the short term, to get more from less. And in that view, looking at it through that lens, he definitely showed signs of being a great coach in that aspect. And that is the aspect that I think they're going to need moving forward. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also chat away with us on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Could the Cardinals not have to wait until the 2027 NFL draft for their franchise QB? We'll talk about it next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RTO Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RTO Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Arizona lawyer will handle Arizona cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
The Psychedelic Furs are back, live. May 28th, 7:30 p.m. at the Celebrity Theater. The Psychedelic Furs. Playing all the hits with special guests. We Are Scientists. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. The Psychedelic Furs, brought to you by Danny Zalisco Presents.
Hey, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. An engagement ring might be one of life's biggest purchases. That's why our rings come with an all-inclusive free lifetime warranty that gives you peace of mind without any fine print. How can we offer such an incredible warranty? We take pride in crafting our rings with care and stand behind our quality craftsmanship. After all, this is a family heirloom you'll own forever. Bring in your ring for cleaning, resizing, and repairs anytime you want. We'll make sure it's as sparkly and secure as the day you bought it, fixing prongs, replacing side stones, and so much more. This type of maintenance could cost you $2,000 or more somewhere else. Under our warranty, it's all free. We even protect your diamond. Other warranties don't. Our rings are crafted to last. But in the rare case you lose your diamond, we'll replace it. At Shane Company, your engagement ring purchase isn't just a one-time transaction. We're here to be your jeweler for life, because a friend always has your back. Come by to learn more in store or visit shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Meierke's highly skilled and certified technicians always treat your car like it's their own. With over 50 years of experience, Meineke will diagnose and fix any issue with precision and care using the best state-of-the-art equipment. You can always depend on Meineke to do the job right and get you back on the road in no time. Save time and schedule an appointment now. Visit Meineke.com today. Trust your key with Meineke. Meineke, doing car care right.
Is the crew on their way so we can fire up the grill?
Cabrito, arrachera. They're gonna love it.
Better go with birria and carne en su jugo. Classic Jalisco dishes with tradition.
That seasoning is great, but northern Mexican-style meat speaks for itself. Let's make both.
Deal. And to boost the flavor, ice-cold Pepsi. Its sweetness pairs perfectly.
And to go with it, flour tortillas.
And corn ones too. Hey, carne asada deserves Pepsi.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Tom Izzo, Michigan State head basketball coach.
I've had more than a couple job offers in the NBA and looked at one last year with Phoenix, and my former player, Matt Ispia. And that was hard. That was a hard thing to turn down because, number one, I kind of wanted to go with him. Number two,
so they offered you the head coaching job?
Well, we talked seriously about it, let's say that.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
There's a story that broke yesterday in college football that has the potential to drastically shake up the summer months for the NFL. Because yesterday it was announced that Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby is taking a leave of absence from the football team to enter rehab for a gambling addiction. It was then followed up by Pete Thamel over at ESPN that reported that there's an NCAA investigation that's potentially brewing about Sorsby placing some bets, thousands of bets, through a gambling app on a variety of sports. And the problem with these bets is that some of them are alleged to have been on Indiana when Sorsby was there as a redshirt. And that is the ultimate no-no in sports. There are rules that the NCAA has about what their athletes are allowed to bet on. I think UFC, NASCAR, and horse racing are what they're allowed to bet on because those are not sports that the NCAA offers. And so that's the NCAA guideline. You can bet, but it needs to be on these three things. It certainly cannot be on the sport you play in. That's a no-no, and that is what Sorsby is alleged to have done. So why do I bring up this story? Well, first of all, before we get into any of this galaxy brain idea that I'm going to share with you, if Sorsby, if all of this is alleged to be true, and he does have a gambling addiction, that has to come first before the football side of this comes second. So I hope that he is able to get the help that he needs, that he's able to go into this rehab and learn what he needs to learn, get the help that he needs to get, and he's able to put this chapter behind him. But there's now a football conversation to be had here. And it's one that is rather unique because Sorsby is somebody who, while maybe not the Arch Mannings of the world, is somebody that was viewed pretty highly when it comes to the 2027 draft class. I think right now you would probably say top 10, top 8 member of a quarterback class that some people think goes 11 to 15 names deep. Sorsby right in the middle of it. A reminder, Sorsby transferred to Texas Tech from Cincinnati to the tune of $4 million in NIL money. This was one of the more sought-after quarterbacks in the transfer portal. It is highly unlikely that he is going to play football next season. It is highly unlikely, if the Indiana part of this is true, that he ever plays college football again. But this is somebody who had aspirations to go to the NFL and start, to go to the NFL and live out a dream. And now his 2026-27 season in college is all but gone. I feel pretty comfortable making that prediction that Sorsby's not going to play football next season. Although maybe he chooses to fight it if the NCAA decides to suspend him. Maybe he tries to get an injunction. That's kind of a popular thing right now. Everybody tries to get an injunction against the NCAA so that they can continue playing. Maybe that's the route he goes down. But there is another path. And Albert Breer is where I first saw this brought up yesterday, and this has been all over the place. The NFL has a second draft. It occurs in the summertime, and you probably heard about it back in the day. You haven't heard about it much recently. In fact, the Arizona Cardinals are the last team to use this draft to get a player. And that is the NFL supplemental draft. The supplemental draft that the NFL canceled last year. Didn't even have it. It's been put on the shelf. Well, perhaps it needs to be dusted off. Because perhaps instead of fighting the NCAA, Sorsby can go to rehab, get treatment, get help for this gambling addiction. And then, like Terrell Pryor did, I think that's the most famous example, Jalen Thompson from the Cardinals was selected this way. Ask to be inserted into the supplemental draft. Apply for instatement into the supplemental draft. Now, the NFL would have to reinstate the supplemental draft and allow teams to bid on any players that are put into the NFL supplemental draft. There's an opportunity here for somebody to potentially get a top 10 quarterback prospect in what is described as a generational quarterback class. You want some quotes that Breer has from coaches in the NFL that just tell you the talent that this kid possesses? An NFC coordinator, quote, "From an arm talent standpoint, some of the stuff he does with his arm is similar. And I hate to say it, you hate to make this comparison to Mahomes and Caleb Williams, but he has that twitch, the arm angles of Stafford. His arm is electric. it would have been by far the best in this class. Zach Wilson's arm was that way too, extremely talented. As a thrower, his arm would be top 8 or so in the league, end quote. That's an NFC coordinator saying that. An AFC executive, quote, the guy's pretty good. He would have had a good chance of being right there with Mendoza. If he came out in the supplemental, it would depend if you felt like you needed a quarterback. But if the Cardinals think he's that good, why not take him in the second round? Just from the limited tape I saw, he looked better than Ty, end quote, meaning Ty Simpson. An AFC executive name drops the Cardinals in this story. So how would this work? If Sorsby declared for the supplemental draft, if he was deemed eligible by the NCAA, if he chose to give up that fight, he would have to go to the NFL and ask for the supplemental draft to be reinstated, and then he's put in the draft. And the way the supplemental draft works is it's a bidding process. The names get put out there, and you as an individual team bid first round, second round, third round, all the way through the seventh round. You bid this player, this price tag. If you have the highest price tag, you win the player. And the way they break ties is they put teams in different buckets. And inside those buckets, they're ranked accordingly. And if you said, hey, I'm going to bid a third-round pick on Brendan Sorsby, if you got Brendan Sorsby, if you were the only bid, if that bid was accepted, if that was the top pick that was given up, you now forfeit your 2027 third-round pick. It's as if you used your third-round pick, what would that be, 10 months ahead of time, and you used it on Brendan Sorsby. Now, usually a player of this caliber isn't available in the supplemental draft. Remember, Terrell Pryor was in the supplemental draft because of what happened at Ohio State. The impermissible benefits, the money for the memorabilia and the tattoos and everything that went on there. And he left Ohio State while that investigation was going on. He went to the supplemental draft. He got drafted by the Raiders. And then if you remember, the NFL said, hey, just because you kind of cut the line here, you skipped ahead, doesn't mean you're not going to serve a suspension. We're going to suspend you. And when it comes to gambling, you know the NFL is going to suspend players for this. There's going to be a suspension levied here. But if you're a team that has a need at quarterback, and you see some of the quotes, that is how some people inside the league that run teams, that coach teams, think about this kid's talent. Teams are going to take a look at this. So you, at least, at a bare minimum, need to keep a close eye on this and do your due diligence if this situation ultimately gets to the place where Sorsby is in the supplemental draft.
You need to be in a place where why not take the risk? If I could get him for a third-round pick with those quotes, with the way that executives have talked about this guy, and I know Ty was directly brought up
and the
in that story, and the Cardinals were directly brought up in that quote. But when we looked around the league talking about Ty Simpson, there was a lot of mixed reviews on what the league thought of Ty Simpson as a prospect. So far, in two quotes, feels like they like Brendan Sorsby and what he brings to the table.
And you have to determine what your appetite for risk is, right? Do you want to bid a second-round pick, a third-round pick? Do you want to give up that type of premium capital?
And this is a real thing in my head. I have looked at what guys have been suspended for in the past around the league, and you look at Calvin Ridley, who was suspended an entire season, and you think that's a possibility.
Well, you have to ask yourself, right? Because in the NFL, if you bet on your own team, you're done.
You're done.
You'd be done. Is the NFL going to levy the same punishment even though he wasn't betting on the NFL? Trust me, there's a long way to go before Sorsby is in the supplemental draft or any draft of any kind and is playing football at the NFL level. I'm bringing this up because we learned about it yesterday, and Breer wrote this story, and I do think this is something worth monitoring. And I'll give you the perfect example. The New York Jets have 3 first-round picks next year. You think in their mind, with 3 first-round picks in a generational QB class, they don't take a second-round pick in next year's class, and they say, you know what? We'll throw the dart on Sorsby. Because imagine if Sorsby is able to play, he serves a half-season suspension, and he wows everybody in the second half of the season. I don't know if this happens, but let's say it does. You now have your quarterback, and you have 3 first-round picks to go support that guy with. It's a risk worth taking in their position.
100%.
If you've got multiple firsts, it's a risk worth taking. And so I don't know what the risk appetite is going to be. These teams are going to want clarity from the league as to what this is going to look like. If you're Sorsby, I think playing this game with the NCAA is probably an endless endeavor. I mean, wouldn't you rather just try to petition the NFL to go in the supplemental draft and just skip ahead and maybe serve your suspension? If it's a year, if it's a half a season, you're still coming out ahead of the game because you're on an NFL team. Do you really want to sit for an entire year away from the sport and then be put in the 2027 draft? This story to me is so fascinating. It's fascinating because you have a college athlete who was betting on the team that he played for. That's a problem. That's an issue in and of itself. But then you have this fascinating angle of this is a player that could have been drafted really high in 2027. What happens with him now?
It's unprecedented from a betting on the team standpoint of what the NFL will do, and how they handle it is going to tell us a lot.
And
it's going to come down to really what the NFL thinks of Brendan Sorsby.
And which path Sorsby chooses to take. Does he choose to fight the NCAA? Does he choose to fight to play next season for Texas Tech? And does he win that injunction in court, right? Does he win that battle with the NCAA in the legal streets? And if he does that, then this isn't even a conversation. But I will say this, I can't tell you how many stories I read yesterday about this. I mean, it has the potential to be one of the most interesting summer stories the NFL has had in a long time. And then you add on top of it the societal story of a college athlete betting on his own team. Now, he was a redshirt, apparently, allegedly. None of the bets were on games he played in. But still
on the roster.
That's something that society and the NCAA and college athletics, and we all have to reckon with, because these stories are unfortunately all too common. So yeah, I was reading so much about this. I was reading about the gambling side of it, what was being alleged, and then I saw this story from Breer yesterday, and I was like, I totally forgot about this being an angle, like the supplemental draft and Terrell Pryor. Like, I forgot about it all.
Yeah, because it feels like it hasn't come up in so long that you just forgot about the supplemental draft.
2019 is the last time a player was selected. It was Jalen Thompson of the Cardinals. He was deemed ineligible by the NCAA for a year. He went into the supplemental draft. The Cardinals, I think it was a 5th round pick on. That's the last time it was used, 2019.
So we're talking about 7 years ago.
Yeah, it'll be 7 years ago if nothing happens with it. And the NFL did away with it because guys go back to school and they get a bunch of NIL money, so there is no need for a supplemental draft. So just something to keep an eye on in the summer. And I think if Sorsby does find a way to get into the supplemental draft, it's going to be a big story because I think some team will take that chance. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. The NBA, they've reportedly released their fix for tanking. I'm skeptical it'll fix anything at all. That's next, the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RT O'Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RT O'Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTO'Sullivans.com for a location near you.
Life can change in an instant. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, everything can feel overwhelming. The pain, the stress, and the uncertainty of what comes next. You don't have to go through it alone. The attorneys at Sweet James understand the physical, emotional, and financial impact an accident can have. They're here to help you navigate the legal process and pursue the compensation you may be entitled to under the law. When you call Sweet James, you're connecting with a team of attorneys experienced in handling serious injury cases. Their work is driven by preparation, advocacy, and a genuine commitment to helping clients seek accountability and justice. Every case is different, and outcomes depend on the specific facts involved. If you've been injured in an accident, call the attorneys at Sweet James for your free case review. They handle everything for you so you can focus on healing. That's the Sweet James advantage. Help available 24/7. If you've been injured, call Sweet James for a free case review. Hablamos Español. 800-9000000. 800-900-0000. SweetJames.com. This advertisement is paid for by Sweet James LLP. Responsible attorney, Bobby Tech-Heavy. Offices in California. No guarantee of results.
Motley Crue, the return of the Carnival of Sins.
September 16th, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. The crew celebrates the 20th anniversary of Carnival of Sins. Motley Crue, with performances by Tesla and Extreme. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Motley Crue, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
When I scraped my car in that parking garage, I was worried that it could be a long process to take care of it. Like a landscaper's first day trimming a hedge maze.
I have definitely already been here. Now, was it left, right, or right, left? Well, maybe I'll cut a path out and find my way back later.
But it wasn't like that. I filed a claim in under 2 minutes on the Geico app, and they handled it from there. It was taken care of almost as quickly as it happened.
It feels good to get help quick. It feels good to Geico.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
Was Kevin Durant out because it is a 7-game series and we could afford to lose a game? Maybe. I was surprised to see him on the bench. Everyone was surprised. The odds makers were surprised. Who knew that the Houston Rockets without Durant can't find someone to make a bucket? You know, Sengun's a very good player, and in years past, he might have been the guy to try and carry the load, but it didn't look good at all for the Rockets without KD.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m.
All right, prepare to be confused because the NBA is trying to fix tanking. And they have a new 3-2-1 draft lottery system. Are you ready for this, producer Evan? You can ask any questions you'd like at any time while I explain this. 16 teams are now going to be in the lottery instead of 14. 16 teams are going to qualify. So 14 to 16. There are going to be 7 teams that get 3 ping pong balls. That gives them an 8.1% chance of landing the number 1 pick. The teams that did not qualify for the playoffs or play-in tournament but avoided finishing with one of the 3 worst records. So you get that? The teams that did not qualify for the playoffs or the play-in, but they did not finish with one of the 3 worst records. Because, yes, the NBA is punishing the teams that finish with the worst records.
Got it. So 4 through 10 of the worst teams in the league get 3 ping pong balls.
3 ping pong balls, 8.1% chance of landing the number 1 pick. 7 teams are going to get 2 ping pong balls. That gives them a 5.4% chance of getting the number 1 pick. Teams that finished in the bottom 3 and were thus subject to a draft relegation provision in which they are penalized 1 ball. I'm reading from the Athletic story that breaks this down. In an attempt to create a floor for how far these teams might fall, the draft relegated teams, those bottom 3, they can pick no lower than 12. Every other lottery eligible team could fall as far as the 16th pick. And then the 9th and 10th play-in seeds in each conference would also receive 2 lottery balls each. And then 2 teams get 1 ball. That is a 2.7% chance. The losers of the play-in games between the 7th and the 8th seeds in each conference would receive just 1 lottery ball. You got it?
Got it.
Well, there's more. Don't worry. I got more for you. No team is able to win the top pick in consecutive years. No team is able to win 3 consecutive top 5 picks. So you pick inside the top 5, you can only do it in back-to-back years. Teams are not able to protect picks in the 12 to 15 slots moving forward. There's also a sunset provision in these new rules where the system would expire after the 2029 draft, and there would need to be a vote to continue with this format. And then under the proposal, the league would have expanded disciplinary authority to regulate tanking by having the option to reduce teams' lottery odds and or modify teams' draft positions. You got it?
Got it.
I think this is just going to create new problems.
I think this is going to be a nightmare.
I think you are attempting to punish teams that purposely tank, right? You purposely tank to get into the bottom 3. We're now punishing you for doing that. You now don't have the best odds. You now have the second best odds. There are going to be 3 other teams, or 7 other teams, I should say, that have better odds than you do. You are getting punished for trying to purposefully tank. But what about teams that are just genuinely bad? What about teams that are just in that life cycle, right? An example, and they could be put into either camp, but Indiana was in the finals last year. They lose Halliburton. One could argue that they're purposefully tanking, but you could also make the argument they're not going to have their star player. It's going to be hard for them to win.
And they lost a lot this offseason.
So what do you do with a team like that? Now, maybe what Adam Silver is trying to do is make those teams that purposefully tank actually try harder to field competitive rosters. That's the bet I think he's making. He's trying to take away the incentive. He's trying to change the behavior. Now, my worry would be teams are just going to find another way to do this. Teams are just going to find another way to maximize their odds year in and year out. And what does this do to the trade value of a first-round pick now?
It diminishes it.
If you're a team that's in that bottom 3, your first-round pick is not as valuable as it used to be. If you're a team that has picked in the top 5 each of the last 2 years, now all of a sudden that pick swap that I got 5 years ago from you
is worth nothing.
Now isn't as good as I thought it was going to be because it can't be in the top 5 again this year. So this dramatically changes the financial framework of the NBA, the asset framework of the NBA. It changes the value of first-round picks. It drastically impacts some of the pick swaps that teams have, some of the pick swaps the Suns are a part of. This changes the value of a first-round pick. And I think in the short term, it changes the types of trades that we're going to see. And I think you're going to see teams that are more willing to move first-round picks for talent. 100%. Because if you bottom out, the best you can pick is 4th. Well, I guess the best you could pick is you could pick 2nd.
Correct. You could pick 2nd.
And I guess technically you could still win the number 1 pick with the worst odds. It is still a lottery.
You could.
So there is still a world where
it's a long shot, but you could.
Where you get the number 1 pick. But if it goes chalk, you're going to end up with, at best, the 4th pick. Most of the time you end up with the 4th pick. I don't know. This just feels really confusing.
Feels like a lot and very confusing for something that's not going to help whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the most generous view of it is you're going to force teams like Utah, like Washington, to not just completely give up on seasons. Because it doesn't actually help them to give up on seasons. It hurts them to give up on seasons. So
that's the hope.
You are probably very, I think on a small scale, but you are raising the competitive floor of the league just a little bit. That's what you're trying to do. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. The hottest sports takes in the Valley. Kick off hour number 2. We've got buy or sell next. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Whoa. Okay. This one says you get a free phone if you switch. Hey, this one also says you get a free phone if you switch.
Yeah, they all do, hon.
Wait. The T-Mobile one says families saved over $3,700 versus the other big guys in the past 5 years. And their experience plans have Netflix included, plus a year of Dash Pass by DoorDash.
Hang on. Let me see that. And a 5-year price guarantee? Oh, yeah, we're switching.
That's what I'm talking about. Do we clap now or?
I'm thinking half-half.
At T-Mobile, get savings that keep stacking up. That's value you can feel every day. Switch now at T-Mobile.
Savings based on Harris X billing snapshots from Q3 2021 to Q4 2025 among accounts with 3+ voice lines compared to AT&T and Verizon, excluding discounts, credits, and optional charges. See harrisx.com/T-Mobile. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com.
Weezer, The Gathering, live in Phoenix. Playing at Mortgage Matchup Center October 20th with special guests, The Shins, and Silver Sun Pickups. Get tickets now at livenation.com. 3 incredible bands for one night only. Weezer, The Shins, and Silver Sun Pickups. For more, visit Weezer.com.
Hey, it's Phil Shaver with HomeSmart, and I want to buy your house. I'm a local investor that buys homes for cash all over Maricopa and Pinell County. I buy inherited homes, nice homes, rental homes, homes that are behind on mortgage payments, and I even buy ugly homes that need fixing. Also, are you looking to get closer to market value for your house? As a licensed realtor, I've been able to buy and sell thousands of homes. Since I'm local, you can call me directly on my cell phone, 480-409-9999. Again, that's 480-409-9999. I don't work for a big corporation or hedge fund, so I can only buy 3 to 5 homes per month. There are no fees involved, and you can pick your own close date. The best part is I buy homes as is, so you don't have to worry about doing any repairs. Again, you can call me directly at 480-409-9999, or you can go to my website, gosoldaz.com. That's gosoldaz.com.
For nearly 25 years, Primavera has helped thousands of Arizona students succeed with an accredited world-class education, tuition-free and from home. Don't wait. Enroll today at chooseprimavera.com. That's chooseprimavera.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break right here. KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert, producer Evan is on the other side of the glass. Thanks for hanging out with us today on the show. We've got a great dueling draft coming up here. Drafting Suns moments from the past
I got to
season.
tell you, I'm pumped for our dueling draft.
I put together a full-blown big board.
I got a big board.
I put it on the secret prep doc that I have, the one that you can't see. I put my big board there so that you couldn't take any of my moments.
Oh, well, I have all these secret prep docs. Our predictions.
Yeah, you have way more than I do, but my big board for the dueling drafts, I keep that away from everything else. So we got that coming up here in just a little bit, but we kick off hour number 2, the hottest sports takes in the Valley. It's time for buy or sell. What do we got today, producer Evan?
It will take Merrill Kelly a few more starts to get right and back to his old form.
Definitely feels like it. It doesn't feel like this is a one tweak and things are okay type of issue, right? I mean, it's the 5 walks last night. It's the 8 runs that he allowed against Chicago. It's the velocity being a tick down. It's the spin rate being down. It's we're not throwing a ton of strikes. When we are, they're kind of getting crushed. I mean, it is, you almost got to take the whole puzzle together and put it apart, take it apart and put it back together. I mean, that's where it's at right now with Merrill Kelly and the Diamondbacks. Yeah, it was not good last night. And now
it was bad.
Now that it's happened twice in a row, it is more alarming than it was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday I think I looked at it coming into the game. It's one bad start. He didn't have a full spring. I still look at it as he still didn't have a full spring, but it's hard not to walk away from yesterday and say I'm a little concerned because it's not just he got hit around. It's the diving into the numbers. It's the under the hood stuff that looks even worse than I'd kind of thought.
And they're just going to need him to be the ace of this staff. I mean, they need him to do more. We gave you the numbers. The bullpen is so overworked right now. And we came into the season worried about the bullpen. They've been a pleasant surprise. But I think you're playing with fire if you continue to use them at the rate you are currently using them.
And they really haven't been able to get length out of any of their starters.
No, and to me,
other than Erod.
And to me, if they continue to play this dangerous game,
It's not going to be long before it's a few meltdowns.
A few. There's going to be a lot of meltdowns putting on that mountain.
Jordan Ott gets an A grade for his first season as a head coach.
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot of what I saw from Jordan Ott. Is he perfect? No. Are there areas of improvement? Of course. But I think it's fair to say that this roster is probably the worst roster that Jordan Ott's going to have over the next couple of years.
I think that's very fair to say.
And so he won 45 games. Now, the talent you have on paper is not a guarantee of the number of wins you're going to get.
We've seen that.
Just ask last year's team, right? But if the talent is going to get better, if he is going to grow as a head coach, if they're going to be able to get maybe some better health luck next year, I mean, there's no world in which they can't be an even better team next year.
I don't see how that can't happen. Like I can see a Suns team under Jordan Ott next year winning 50 games. I can totally see that.
Ott got more out of less this past year, and I think he, again, is going to have to do more of that over the first couple of years of this
100%
rebuild while they get out of the Bradley Beal money, right? And they clean up some of the financial mess that they're in. But I think next year's team is going to be more talented, so it's going to be somewhat easier for him with his feet underneath him, a year in the rearview mirror, what I think is valuable playoff experience to learn from.
Couldn't agree more.
I mean, the coach that he was across from in this series against Oklahoma City, Dagnall, right? It took
best of the best,
right?
But it took time.
3 years before he even got to the postseason.
And there were some bad teams in there.
Some 20-win seasons in there.
Correct.
Jordan Ott, year one, people thought 20-win season incoming. He wins 45. So, again, learn from...
I would like to look it up, but I think Dagnall's first year, I think they lost 60 games.
They might have. I looked this morning and I saw, I think they won like 27 games in his second year. I mean, it took until year 3, year 4 for him to break through into the postseason. Jordan Ott did it in year 1. Now, I'm not saying that means he's better, but I'm just saying that, you went up against that coach in the playoffs and you had a better first year than he did. Learn from where he's at. Take from that series.
Yeah, so in his first year, I guess he was only the head coach for 72 games. And they went 22-50. So I guess I thought they were 22-60 under Dagnall. But 22-50, and then 24-58, then 40-42. Then he breaks out in 23-24. They go 57-25, 68-14, 64-18.
It took him 4 years to pass the single season win mark that Jordan Ott just set. Wasn't until his 4th year that he won as many as 45 games.
Correct.
Again, not saying that Ott is better, but I'm using potentially one of the best coaches in the sport right now to show you just how good last year was for Jordan Ott and how good it can be moving forward as this roster continues to get better.
And as this roster continues to get better and as he continues to grow as a coach, right? Like there's going to be that growth program too, because I think there are mistakes that he made. And, I don't think it's fair to point those out immediately and say, wow, what a glaring issue, because I think it's a rookie head coach. But there are mistakes he's going to learn from as he gets older and matures as a coach.
I agree.
The new lottery system won't fix tanking at all.
I think, again, the most positive interpretation is that it is going to raise the competitive floor of those absolutely awful teams that are doing so on purpose, right? But even then, even if those teams are just slightly better, it's still going to be bad basketball. So you may raise the competitive floor a little bit. You may stop the purposeful tanking. But I think you create some other problems. There are other ramifications to this. The value of a first-round pick. What happens when a team is actually really bad because they've put together a poor roster and this is supposed to be their ticket out of it, and now you're punishing them for that? It just, I do think it I see the benefits. I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to remove the incentive. I get it. I can appreciate that. I do worry about some side effects that create other, maybe not as severe problems, but some pretty large problems in their own right.
Handling Mark Williams is the first thing on the Suns checklist.
It's funny. I have a running list on our show prep sheet of Suns-related things that I want to get to at some point over the next couple of weeks. And one of them is what should be the priority. Williams, Colin Gillespie, Jordan Goodwin, who are all going to be free agents. And the reason why it's not on any of the show rundowns yet is because I haven't really formulated how I feel about it. I'm going to lean here for right now.
I think so too.
I think it's Colin Gillespie.
I took the words right out of my mouth.
I think that's the player they prioritize. And
which is just crazy.
Well, okay.
No, I don't think it's crazy. I think it's very fair.
On. Entertain me for just a second.
Okay.
Just a second, entertain me. There's a case to be made that already on the roster, they have their Jordan Goodwin replacement and they have their Mark Williams replacement.
100%.
In Rasheer Fleming and Kaman Malawach.
100%.
It's not one-to-one. It's not apples to apples. But you can make the case that they have players who provide that similar type of role on the roster already. I don't think I can say the same about Colin Gillespie. So that's my early rough draft version of that. But I reserve the right to change my mind.
I 100% agree because, and I wasn't saying that it's crazy that they would do that. Just growing up a Villanova fan, like I didn't think this would ever happen for Colin Gillespie.
No, right? I mean, this has just been great. I mean, it's
been unbelievable.
He's a really important player. You need that 6th, 7th guy that comes off the bench and that can score. And
he really is that guy.
He set a franchise record for most threes made in a regular season. Colin Gillespie did that. So, yeah, I think right now, rough draft version 1.0, that's the player that I would prioritize.
Brendan Sorsby will try to reinstate the supplemental draft.
This is... We've just seen so many people try and win against the NCAA that I think that's the path they're going to go down first.
And it feels like it's kind of worked recently.
Well, I had a conversation with a buddy this morning, and I told him, I said, listen, if I was a team that needed a quarterback, I would throw a 2nd-round pick if he got to the supplemental draft. And he said, well, yeah, if the timing works, because the supplemental draft is usually in June or July. And if you're going to fight the NCAA and you're going to fight them in court, that's not going to be a speedy process.
They're not quick trial.
Like, I know you're supposed to have a speedy trial, but, you know, the NCAA kind of takes their time with these investigations. So there's not going to be a quick conclusion to all of this. So I think, again, if I was Sorsby, and again, I want to make it very clear. The priority here is if he has this gambling addiction, again, all of this is alleged right now. If he has this gambling addiction, it is getting that part of his life cleaned up first because he's a very talented football player and he has a future, I think, at some level in football. But it is about working on that part of his life that led him to make these decisions and potentially bet on his own team while he was playing there. Again, allegedly, that's priority number one, fixing the person, Brendan Sorsby. But from a football perspective, if I was him and I wanted to continue to play football after this was all said and done, I would be looking towards the supplemental draft. That would be the path of these two paths that are presented to me right now that I would pick.
A current team over 500 will make a push for the wild card.
A current team over 500?
Under. Sorry, did I say over?
You said over, and I was very confused for a second.
Under, sorry.
If it's over 500, yes, there'll be plenty. A team under 500 will make a push for the wild card. Okay, let me work through it. I'll talk you through the process. Teams that are below 500
in the American League.
In the American League is everybody right now. Everybody not named Tampa is below 500. Right now, 2 below 500 teams would make the wild card in the American League.
Yeah, so you have the Yankees at 20-10, Tampa at 18-11, yep. The Athletics 15-14, Tigers 15-15, and then everybody else below 500. What about in the National League?
I'm going to buy this in the American League because I think there's going to be some runs there. But I understand the spirit. You're talking Astros, Angels, Red Sox,
correct?
Mets, Phillies. Those are the teams you're talking about. Do I think one of those teams makes a run?
Miami.
I do. I think one of those teams makes a run.
I like that. That's all I got for you today.
There you have it. We'll buy or sell here
Quick
today.
edition.
Well, we've got a big-time dueling draft. What were the best moments of this past season for the Phoenix Suns? We'll draft them next. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
ASU weekend baseball happening over on KAZG 1440. Join the Sun Devils on the diamond this Friday as they travel to Florida to take on UCF. Head coach Willie Bloomquist is ready to start off May baseball with a road win. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, on the call live. It's game 1 between ASU and the University of Central Florida. Pregame at 2:45 p.m. and first pitch at 3 over on KAZG 1440.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority bookings by calling our heroes over at Zero Res. Hey, it's Audrey. I have personal experience with Zero Res. They came in and completely made my home smell way more fresh than it did. And it's not because I smell funky. It's because, I've got pets, and I had family over during the holidays, so we'll blame it on them. And they came and completely helped change my winter blues into springtime cleans. Zero Res removes all of that winter buildup and lingering odors, giving your home a fresh, spring-ready feel, preparing your home for the brighter days ahead. And don't forget about your air ducts, because they are the lungs of your home. And if they're dirty, your indoor air quality is going to suffer. This month, get 3 rooms Zero Resified from Phoenix's #1 carpet cleaner, starting at just $129. And whenever you mention KDUS, receive a free hallway cleaning and take $75 off your air duct cleanings. Call Zero Res right now at 480-507-2419 or go online at ZeroResPhoenix.com and say you want the KDUS special.
Florence and the Machine presents the Everybody Scream Tour. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Saturday, May 9th. The incomparable Florence and the Machine returns. With special guest, Mannequin Pussy. On sale now at livenation.com. The new album, Everybody Scream, available now.
Everybody Scream. When I was a kid, my dream wasn't a mansion. It wasn't a yacht. It was a 250cc Kawasaki dirt bike sitting in the garage. That garage and that bike represented freedom. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello. At A1 Garage Door Service, we know your garage holds more than tools. It holds dreams. From repairs to upgrades, call A1 Garage Door Service today or schedule online at a1garage.com. A1 from day one.
Appears to be ready to expand both the men's and women's March Madness brackets. Not a shocking development. When there's money on the table, college athletics has repeatedly shown it'll find a way to reach for more of it. It's not unique to the NCAA either. It's just simply the direction of modern sports. NFL has already explored expanding the regular season again. The NBA created the play-in tournament. College football may increase its playoff format to 24 teams. More games, more money. But there's also a cost. Expansion can create excitement, but also chip away at what made these formats so compelling in the first place. The larger the field becomes, the more the regular season risks losing urgency. Growth may be inevitable, but every league eventually has to decide how much expansion is worth before quantity starts to weaken quality. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. 2 words, prostate exam. Relax. Screening starts with a simple finger-free blood test. Around 1 in 8 men in the United States will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. Prostate cancer can have over a 99% 5-year relative survival rate when caught at a localized or regional stage. If you're 40 or over and have a prostate, visit relaxitsabloodtest.com to see if a PSA blood test is right for you. Talk to your doctor about screening and the next steps. Sponsored by Novartis. When money's tight and you're behind, it can be tough to play catch up. But Liberty Mutual can help you make a comeback, a fourth quarter go-ahead drive, if you will. Liberty Mutual is clutch by customizing your car and home insurance to save you money, especially when you bundle. It's insurance built for real people with a team that works hard to help keep more of what matters most in your pocket, money. Liberty, 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 liberty. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local independent agent, libertymutual.com.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC ranker Scott Lewis, brought to you by RTO Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RTO Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
Let's put a bow on the season that was for the Phoenix Suns. That is the topic for our dueling draft here on a Wednesday. All right, producer Evan. I believe you go first.
Yes. You selected David Bailey first.
What a mistake that was. Although we each only got one, so nobody won that draft. Chase Pasanta saving the day for me.
That was a huge one.
So we're drafting the best storyline / moments from the Suns season. I've got a big board of 8, so I got to hope that we don't overlap more than 3.
I think I have 6.
So you got to hope there's no overlap.
Well, I have a big board of 6, and then I list a couple other things.
So, okay. All right. So you have a big board for your big board.
Yes.
Okay. HMs to the big board.
HMs to the big boards, correct.
All right. Please, lead it off.
Are you ready?
I have one that I absolutely want.
The NBA Cup.
That's the one I wanted. I literally have the entire group stage run of the NBA Cup.
Yep.
That's the right pick at number 1. Because when you saw the group, and I think I still have it here. I do.
You thought it was impossible.
Minnesota, Sacramento, Oklahoma City. You thought that you maybe could beat Utah and Sacramento, but that 2-2 wasn't going to be enough with Minnesota and Oklahoma City. And you somehow finished second in the group. You finished second in the group. And you should have beaten Oklahoma City. You should have gone 4-0. It's pretty good.
The cup run was fantastic.
Remember, because if you'll remember, the first cup game against Utah was in the middle of the 4-game losing streak.
And they came out and smashed Utah.
Well, everybody was panicking. They had lost 4 in a row. They were 1-4 to start the year. It was like, this isn't working. And then they calmed everybody down by getting their group stage play
underway in a big way.
Huge way. All right, so that's what you took with the number 1 pick. I just want to check on one thing here, okay?
Okay.
I want to check on one thing. Just give me a second. Okay, so it's not that game. That's not the cup.
Are you looking for a specific game?
I have a specific game that I was going to take.
Are you taking a specific cup game?
No. I'm taking a game against the team that was a cup opponent. But I just want to make sure, because we may have to have it. We may need a ruling on this.
Okay.
This is a problem because I want to take one of the cup games.
What do you want to take?
I want to take the 114-113 win over Minnesota, where they erased an 8-point deficit.
I'll give it to you.
In the final minute, and Gillespie hits a shot. I can take the individual game.
Yeah. What's the date on that?
That is November 21st. Because they played 2 close games where they won against Minnesota. They won another one, 108-105. Anthony Edwards dropped 40, and they still beat him. I had to figure out which one was which in the order. So I'll take the 114-113 win over Minnesota.
That was in Minnesota too, wasn't it?
I believe it was in Minnesota. No, that was here.
That was here. And you have another pick.
I do.
You take the second Minnesota game.
Give me the comeback win on opening night against the Kings.
I didn't have that on my big board.
That's my number 2 pick. I've got some. My next 2, the value that I'm going to get if these get here. I have to erase which ones have been taken. The entire group stage of the NBA run, gone. See you later. I took the 114-113 win over Minnesota. That one's got to go. And then,
Some of mine aren't specific games, though.
That's fine. It's your list. Go ahead.
Jalen Green's first game back.
Hey, that's a specific game. I mean, he was really good in that game.
He was really good, and we'll get into this, but it looked like, oh, man.
And you're talking about from the first injury against the Clippers.
Yes. Okay. When he dropped 29, and we told everybody to bet his over 10 points.
Yeah.
That for the first time, it looked like, oh, they're going to be a real problem.
Okay.
They're going to be a real problem.
Okay.
A play-in win against Golden State.
Nah, that's on my list. Yep. Yeah,
that was your first must-win game in the Jordan Ott era, and you got it done.
I will take, because I'm up for 2, right?
Correct.
Give me the March 12th win against Indiana. Now, you may be asking, Chris, why are you taking the March 12th win against Indiana?
I am.
I am taking it because it was win number 39 in the regular season for the Phoenix Suns. That was the game, that was the win that officially put them past last year's win total. March 12th against Indiana.
That's great stuff.
I will follow that up with the double overtime win against Orlando. If you remember, Dillon Brooks leaves this game with an injury.
Yeah.
Jalen Green hits the game-winning shot. They beat Orlando in double overtime.
That was the corner 3?
Yep.
Corner 3. That's also in March. What's the date on that?
That was February.
Yes.
February 21st.
I was at Innings Fest when that happened. I was watching on my phone.
Going crazy.
I was going crazy.
Well, I've got 2 more on
I think I texted you green.
I think you did. I have 2 more on my big board. You technically have 2 spots, so you could take both of these. But I feel pretty good that I'm going to get one of them.
Okay, this is an interesting one.
Okay.
Rasheer Fleming's run of playing really well there. Do you know what stretch I'm talking about?
Fleming's run. Yeah, I'm good with that. He had a really good stretch in there.
I thought that was very fun.
That means I'm going to get one of my last.
And number 5.
Yeah.
Win number 31.
Okay. Win number 31, because that locked it up for us. The Suns win total over. Okay, I'll tell you what my last 2 are. Actually, let me make sure that the game that I'm talking about isn't win number 31. Just want to be careful. Win number 31 was a 131-25 win over Portland. So that is not the game that I'm referencing. My last 2 that I have. I'm debating between Grayson Allen's 42 against Memphis or the game-winning 3 that Booker hit over OKC in January.
I knew that. I thought about taking that one. The Oklahoma City 3. But then it just...
It hasn't aged well.
That's what,
you didn't
that's what it came down to for me.
Give me Grayson's 42 against Memphis. Because what did he hit? How many threes did he hit in this game? If I remember correctly, it was like a ton.
Yeah, I can look it up, but it was like a ton. I want to say it's double digits.
There it is. Oh, no, against New Orleans, not against Memphis. My apologies. He makes a Suns record 10 threes. So Grayson's 42 against New Orleans. So to recap, drafting the best moments of the season for the Phoenix Suns. I've got the 114-113 win over Minnesota where they erased an 8-point deficit with 1:09 left to go. The opening night win against the Kings, the huge comeback that they made in the second half. March 12th, the win over Indiana, which was win number 39 in the regular season. The double OT win against Orlando, Jalen Green making the winning shot. Grayson Allen makes the Suns record 10 threes and drops 42 in a win against New Orleans.
The group stage of the NBA Cup was my first pick. What an electric time that was. Jalen Green's first game back when we thought they may be a serious problem if he was healthy throughout the year. The play-in win against Golden State in their first must-win game of the year in the Jordan Ott era. The Rasheer Fleming run, his run of greatness there before he got limited minutes the rest of the way. and win number 31 that bested the Vegas over.
What a fun little trip down memory lane that was. A lot of great moments this season.
There was, honestly. So when we had talked about doing that segment, in my head I was like, oh my gosh, 10 moments that I think were
right, because
really fun.
You have to build a big board of 10
just in case the other 5 get taken.
Right.
And it was way easier to think about those.
Well, what I did was I pulled up the schedule, right? And I just looked at the different games and I looked at the different runs and I was like, oh, I remember that. Oh, yep, that happened. And it was very easy.
And like I had a few that like jumped out of the page, like the NBA Cup.
That was number one for me. That
was number
one.
And then Jalen Green's first game back, because I remember watching that and just being so excited for what was to come with him on the floor and obviously the play. And so you had a few that kind of jumped out. But
yeah, I mean, I will tell you, there are a bunch of, ones that could have been, right? I mean, remember that game they played against Houston where they came out on fire in the first quarter towards the end of the season? If they would have won that game, that would have been a huge moment.
Huge moment.
They would have beaten Durant.
What about if had they beaten Boston on the road in Boston and not kind of fumbled away the last 5 minutes there? Like you feel like that's a huge win.
Booker dropped 40 in that game.
Booker dropped 40. Right. You would have talked about that. It would have gotten them out of that little bit of that. They were sputtering a little coming into that game. It just would have been a huge one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a season full of moments, a season full of victory laps that they can take, and now there's an off season of work to be done to make sure we have another list that we can draft next year. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also hang out with us on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel. And if you're listening to us on the free KDUS AM 1060 app, you've got your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the New York Mets at Chase Field on Saturday, May 9th. So you can enter for a chance to win those tickets listening on the free KDUS AM 1060 app and also for streaming us, KDUS1060.com. It was the move of the summer. Did it actually work? That's next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Tom Izzo, Michigan State head basketball coach.
I've had more than a couple job offers in the NBA and looked at one last year with Phoenix, and my former player, Matt Ispia. And that was hard. That was a hard thing to turn down because, number one, I kind of wanted to go with him. Number two,
so they offered you the head coaching job?
Well, we talked seriously about it. Let's say that.
Weekdays, 6 to 9 a.m. on KDUS AM 1060.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
For over 50 years, they redefined rock. The spirit lives on.
Monday, warrior, mean strife. Today, Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson celebrate 50 years of Rush 50-something tour, December 1st and 3rd, 2026, Desert Diamond Arena. Tickets are on sale now at rush.com. Legends don't stop. They evolve. Rush.
Superstar Car Wash, the car wash with superpowers. Sign up for a free car wash today. That's right, totally free for a limited time. Because we love what makes you shine. See website for details.
Hello?
Hey sis, got a sec?
Yeah, what's up?
Take a look at the picture I just sent you. I'm walking into Hellsburg and want to get Mom something special for Mother's Day.
Yeah, she's done so much for us this year. Let's see. Diamond pendant. Oh, she'd love this.
Great, I'll get this, which means you're in charge of flowers.
Okay, deal.
This Mother's Day, save up to 50% on timeless gifts for Mom. Shop at a store near you or at hellsburg.com.
If you're a pro, you know you need paint and primer fast. And the Home Depot has you covered with same-day or next-day deliveries so you can stay on site and on schedule. Get high-quality Behr paints and Kills primers delivered right to your job site. And with the Home Depot app, reordering is faster than ever. Just pick your paint, track your order, and get your go-to color in no time. No delays, no extra trips, just the paint and primer you need when you need it. The Home Depot, how pros get more done. Limitations may apply, not available in all markets. See store for details.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
AAA membership travels with you in any car, whether driver or passenger. It's 24/7 expert help with towing, battery, and branch services across the valley. Join AAA for less than $6 a month and add loved ones for half off. Call or visit your local branch today.
Every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. is MMA Friday on the Sports Zoo with official UFC rank with Scott Lewis, brought to you by RTO Sullivan's, your home for every UFC event. The Sports Zoo is the only show in the Valley that gives you 1 full hour of MMA every week, featuring Scott Lewis's official UFC ranking changes, fight predictions for every weekly event, shocking MMA stories, and more. So tune in every Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. and then head to RTO Sullivan's every Saturday to watch the fights. Go to RTOSullivans.com for a location near you.
What should we make of Jalen Green's first season in Phoenix? He was one of the two major pieces the Suns coveted in the Kevin Durant trade last summer. And the idea when at the time, 23-year-old Jalen Green was traded to the Phoenix Suns was that he was the piece alongside Devin Booker. He was supposed to be the Batman and Robin combination for Phoenix, that this new version of the Phoenix Suns was going to be built around Devin Booker and Jalen Green. And I'm not sure that after one season, we have a clear-cut answer on whether or not it can work. I don't know if we actually know if this is the right duo to build around. Because let's remember, it was a clunky fit when they traded for Jalen Green. Rewind back to the summer. Remember where you were when we learned that the Suns had traded Kevin Durant and the main pieces they were getting back were Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green. At the time, you didn't know what the 10th overall pick was going to be. You knew that Brooks was going to be on this roster, and you knew that Jalen Green was going to be on this roster. How much time do you remember being spent on the airwaves, written in stories, on podcasts, in social media posts about Jalen Green and Devin Booker not being a natural fit? Them playing the same position, them doing some of the similar types of things on a basketball court. Both guys kind of like having the ball in their hands. And we were told to trust Brian Gregory, to trust Jordan Ott, to trust Matt Ishbia. They know what they're doing. They're going to be able to make this work. They're going to figure it out. They coveted Jalen Green for a reason. Give them the benefit of the doubt to see what it looks like. Well, unfortunately, we only got 467 minutes of action with those two guys together on the floor at the same time. That is 9 full games worth of minutes together on the floor at the same time. 467 minutes. Divide that by 48, and it gives you a little over 9 games worth. That is the smallest of sample sizes. That's it. Now, when they were both on the floor together, it was a net positive. They were better offensively than they were defensively. They scored more points than they gave up. Their rating was better. It was, I think, a plus 6.2 in those 467 minutes. So again, a small sample size, it looks like it's okay. But remember how it looked at the end. Remember how it looked in the postseason. Did you feel when we got to the end of the regular season, when we got to the postseason, that it was actually working with both of those guys? Or did it kind of feel clunky again? Did it kind of feel like it did back in the summertime? Now, I know it's probably way too early to make a decision. They should probably get a chance to see what happens over the course of a longer sample size. But I'll remind you, Green's going to be due an extension here pretty soon. And this is still kind of a blind faith that this is going to work out, that this is the right approach. Now, I will tell you this. I feel way more comfortable trusting Brian Gregory and Jordan Ott if they want to go down this road again this year, because they've worked up some trust with me. This team doing what they did last year, they've earned more trust than they had last summer when this is what they were rolling out to all of us, when we were kind of like, okay. I mean, I understand why you got him back. He's a young player. He's extremely talented, but it's kind of redundant. Not sure how it's going to work. You still aren't sure how it's going to work long term, but you kind of trust the power players to figure it out. You trust Jordan Ott. You trust the players, I think, in this system. You trust Brian Gregory to get the right pieces around these two guys if this is the path they want to go down. But truthfully, if you pick to go down this path again, you're probably committing to this direction for the foreseeable future. So I'll tell you this. I'll warn you this way. They better be right. They better be right that this can work. They better be right that when the sample size grows, when these two guys play more minutes together, that they are a benefit for each other and for the team, and it pushes them in the right direction. But I don't think we got a clear-cut answer this season. I just don't. I don't feel like I'm in a better position to answer if this is going to work.
How could you? They didn't play enough together. Simply put, due to injury and everything else that has happened this year, I still don't know if this works. I don't know that they got an answer. I think they got an answer on a bunch of things. I think they got an answer on the head coach. I think they have an answer on the GM. I think he did a nice job in the draft. I'll say that now. And I know that was a question for a while, but the way Rasheer Fleming played, the way Malawatch gave you solid minutes, I think they have a GM. I think they have a head coach. I think they have really nice pieces that have changed the culture. I don't know if this is the pairing that's going to work for this team. I think there are still question marks with this roster. I think that's a massive one, if not the biggest.
Because if you stick with these two guys, they're the guys that are going to make the most, right? Booker's going to make the most. Jalen Green, when he gets his extension, is going to, make the second most. And so that's what you're building around. You're locking yourself into it's these two guys. These two guys are our 1 and 2, our 1 and 1A, Batman and Robin, however you want to describe it. This is our big two. This is I've referred to it as a dynamic duo, right? That we live in this era in the NBA where teams have dynamic duos. You're committing to this being your dynamic duo. And you better be right. Because if you're wrong, you got to reset again. You have to go back to the drawing board again. And I just don't know right now if there's enough information to say one way or the other. Now, that's a reason to give them another year. That's another reason to not find the exit ramp. But it is also a reason to entertain the exit ramp if one were to appear. You can go either way with it. But this is going to be one of the big questions that gets asked of this team in the summertime, because I guarantee you there are going to be some postseason teams that get eliminated, whose runs fall short, and they're going to be looking for that piece that takes them over the top. And they are going to call Phoenix about one of, if not both, Devin Booker and Jalen Green. The phone calls are going to come in, and the Phoenix Suns are going to have to make a choice. They are going to choose this summer whether to build around those two guys or to maybe take an exit ramp if one presents itself.
I think that's very fair. And I think this is the type of game, or this is the type of team that's going to need an answer on this. And they just didn't play enough games to do so. And I don't know how you get that answer before next year. I don't know if that's even possible.
Well, the only way you really get the answer is by them playing.
It's
right?
for them to play 50 plus games.
Significant time.
Like and it's not 10 more. I think it's another 40.
Right. I don't need another half season. I need a full season because I didn't really get a full season
at all.
I got 64 games out of Devin Booker. I got 32 games out of Jalen Green. That's it. That's all I got.
And how many games did they play together? In total, minutes wise, it comes out to about 10 games, right?
When they were on the floor together. Yes.
Correct.
Well, they started trying to look at the starting lineup configurations. That's 11 games where they were in the starting lineup together. That's another 3. So that's 14. That's another 2. That's what did I just say? We were at 14. That's 16. That's 17. That's 18. That's 19. I mean, it's no more than 25 games, I think. But if I actually sat here and added it all up, it's 25 games where they played together. So it's not a lot. It's not a big enough sample size. If it was 60 games, you'd feel comfortable kind of leaning one way or another. You can't feel that comfortable.
You can't at all.
You just can't. But they better be right, because this is going to be one of those important decision points in this franchise. It's going to determine, along with other things, like the growth and development of Jordan Ott as a head coach, the development of Malawach and Fleming into rotational players, and in some cases, starters, right? In Malawach's case, I think they'd like him to be the starting center. All of these things factor in, but your superstars stepping up, your star players, the guys that you're building this around, working well together, playing off of each other, making each other better. It's the bare minimum. It's the requirement. And so they got to make sure that they get this right. And I think this summer they're going to get phone calls. I think they're going to be pressed for phone calls. You think if Detroit gets bounced in the first round, they're not looking to make a big splash?
I think they're very much looking to make a big splash.
And you don't think they're making a phone call for the guy who grew up in Detroit?
100%.
I'm just saying, like, these conversations are going to happen. Suns are going to have to make a choice.
The Suns should answer the phone on every player.
Hopefully they make the right choice. We got one more before we get out of here today on the Wednesday edition of the program. It is the leftovers, all the stories we didn't get to today here on the show. We get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Was Kevin Durant out because it is a 7-game series and we could afford to lose a game? Maybe. I was surprised to see him on the bench. Everyone was surprised. The odds makers were surprised. Who knew that the Houston Rockets without Durant can't find someone to make a bucket? You know, Sengun's a very good player, and in years past, he might have been the guy to try and carry the load, but it didn't look good at all for the Rockets without KD.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, everything can change fast. That's when the attorneys at Sweet James step in. They help you understand your rights, connect you with medical care, and pursue the compensation you may be entitled to. You don't pay anything unless your case is resolved successfully, and help is available 24 hours a day. If you've been injured, call Sweet James for a free case review. Hablamos Español. 800-900-0000. 800-900-0000. SweetJames.com. This advertisement is paid for by Sweet James LLP. Responsible attorney, Bobby Tech-Heavy. Offices in California. No guarantee of results.
A night you don't want to miss. Avenged Sevenfold. Good Charlotte. North America Tour 2026. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. August 27th. Avenged Sevenfold. Good Charlotte. An epic night of music. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Don't miss Avenged Sevenfold and Good Charlotte, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
If you're a fan of any sport on the planet, college or pro, then we are right where you want to be.
Place to come when you want to have too much fun.
Real sports fans need a sports book powered by Hard Rock Bet. Follow the money line to Twin Arrows and too much fun.
Twin Arrows.
The best indoor tailgate party in Flagstaff with massive HD screens, cold drinks, game time food specials, and best service is at Arrow Sports Bar. After the game, get
back in the game at craps, blackjack, and slots. Now that's too much fun.
The place to come when you wanna have too much fun.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
ASU weekend baseball happening over on KAZG 1440. Join the Sun Devils on the diamond this Friday as they travel to Florida to take on UCF. Head coach Philippe Bloomquist is ready to start off May baseball with a road win. Join the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, on the call live. It's game 1 between ASU and the University of Central Florida. Pre-game at 2:45 p.m. and first pitch at 3 over on KAZG 1440.
All right, let's wrap up the Wednesday edition of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. It's all the stories we didn't get to today on the show. It is the leftovers. Producer Evan has them for us. Please take it away, Producer Evan.
Yesterday we missed it because it just happened, it happened during our show, and I didn't see it till right after we got off the air. But the Cleveland Guardians called up Travis Bazzana, who made his Major League debut yesterday.
That entire draft class, that first round,
it's unbelievable.
I mean, they've just got so many guys that are already playing a role at the big league level. I mean, that draft class, what is that, 2024?
Correct.
The 2024 MLB draft, that's less than 2 years ago. There are guys already making an impact at the big league level. I mean, that's unheard of in baseball. But how about this? Travis Bazzana. Stop me when I say somebody that is, not participating. Chase Burns. Charlie Condon of the Rockies. He's close, though, right?
Correct.
I mean, this is Producer Evan's favorite player. A's first baseman. Mr. Kurtz.
He's the best, man. He's the best.
Hagen Smith. Jack Caglione. J.J. Weatherholt. Connor Griffin.
Wow.
Carson Benj is playing.
We went to see
Treya Savage.
My roommate and I went to see Travis Bazzana when he was at Oregon State.
Bazzana, Burns, Kurtz, Caglione, Weatherholt, Connor Griffin.
That's absurd.
Treya Savage, Carson Benj. You know who's also taken in that first round? He was a promotional incentive pick, number 31 overall. Ryan Walshman. Just saying.
Wow. And he's going to be up this year.
Yeah, you gotta add another name to the list.
By the way, did you see that Alexi Ramirez?
Well, I mean, I had a good friend text this to me. I have so many questions. The first of which being, if we're going to drug test the players for the WBC, can we maybe get the results quicker than April? Or basically May? Perhaps maybe we get the results back before the entire tournament is done. I mean, what are we doing? Who set up that system? Who set it up?
It's so funny. It is it's really, really funny. I don't know how that happened this late. I just don't know how it happened. The Lions picked up Jahmyr Gibbs' 5th-year option.
Great value for
declined Jack Campbell's.
You can't hit them all. You can't win them all.
Yeah.
Gibbs was a home run.
A home run.
Extension incoming.
I was going to say, is that an extension this offseason?
He'll get one before the start of the year, I would guess. Maybe they'll wait, but I would rather get that taken care of.
Yeah, and then have it kick in at the end.
Well, yeah, when you do these types of deals, you roll in the money from the 5th-year option, and the extension probably usually doesn't start until after the 5th-year option. So they still have time, but why wait? Why wait and make it more expensive for yourself?
100%.
Now, if you're Gibbs, maybe you roll the dice and you hope that you don't get hurt and you have another big year and it's even more money.
It's a dice roll, though, for a guy who's going to get a lot more work this year.
Yes.
Two more NFL stories for you. Justin Simmons has announced his retirement. He will retire as a Bronco after his 9 NFL seasons.
Good career. It's a good player.
It's a good career who I couldn't find himself on a team in the last 2 years.
Safety's an interesting position in that regard, I think.
You think so?
Well, think about it. You got to be extremely physical against the run. You got to have speed over the top, right? You're the
I mean, you can deteriorate fast.
You're the over the top guy, right? And
Correct.
if you lose a step and you don't have that speed, right? As a corner, if you're still really physical, if you're still able to defend in zone, right? I mean, you can kind of if you lose a little bit of the speed, you can find a system. Safety, maybe you can find a system, but you got to be able to be that safety net over the top. And if you lose the speed, if you lose the ability to close down on a guy, it's going to be hard for you to find work.
Texans linebacker Al-Shaair signs a 3-year extension with the Houston Texans.
Houston just giving out money all over the place.
Giving out money. This feels like when the Padres started giving out money.
First it was Will Anderson. Now Al-Shaair gets his deal.
He is quite the football player. He has developed into quite.
They've got a nasty defense. Yes,
They do.
Yes, they do.
There's been a source out there saying that Bo Nix had a second procedure on his right ankle.
Is it a source? I thought the team said something yesterday.
And now, I was gonna say now the team has said something. And then on top of all of that, there is a picture out there now of Bo Nix.
Oh, I got to tell you,
on vacation. I assume
you want to talk about people.
Doesn't look right.
I mean, I haven't seen people investigate photos like this since the Post dropped more Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel photos
a week ago.
I mean, NFL fans, and
they love a good picture.
They love some gossip. I mean,
Yes.
them and like people who love like celebrity gossip,
Like the housewives in the NFL.
There's some crossover kind of
I
happening.
read a
here right
tweet not that long ago, a couple months back, that said, if you just watch the sports league and look at them as a reality television show.
It's the best reality show you're going to find.
And specifically in the NBA.
Oh, the NBA's.
The NBA is a complete reality TV show.
It's lunacy. It's craziness.
But yes, people are very much digging into how Bo Nix is standing in this picture.
Yep.
Does his
Zooming in on
ankle
it.
look a little bent to the left?
I saw a zoom in shot of his ankle. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's really getting broken down.
Yep.
And lastly, the Flyers, they are going to finish off the Penguins tonight.
Worst 4 words for producer Evan. Sidney Crosby, Game 7. Now, there's some good NBA games on tonight, aren't there?
There is, yeah. Obviously, all good playoff games. We can get into all of them. Tonight in the NBA, you have the Magic traveling to the Pistons. Yeah, Magic traveling to Detroit to take on the Pistons.
You were confused for a second because Orlando is the team up 3-1.
Yes.
You were very confused for a second. Wait a minute. Why is
Orlando's
that
up 3-1. Raptors take on Cleveland in a 2-2 series. That one's been great. Lakers at home trying to finish off the Rockets tonight.
3 good basketball games. Diamondbacks in action tonight as well. And Pittsburgh going to force a Game 7 in Philly. Really make them pay. Jim Rome is coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya.